Welcome to today's Explainer. Right now, the entire sports world is basically holding its collective breath. I mean, for years, fans have been dreaming of this ultimate heavyweight clash between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, a true battle of Britain. And after endless negotiations and so many near misses, this monumental fight is finally, supposedly, happening this November. But, as anyone who actually follows heavyweight boxing can tell you, absolutely nothing is ever simple. Right now, this highly anticipated heavyweight clash is teetering right on the brink because both of these guys are stepping into the ring this very weekend. And the stakes? They literally couldn't be any higher.
Okay, let's dive into this. Recently, while speaking to Sky Sports, Tyson Fury cast some massive doubt on the November fight with just one single sentence. By casually stating he's prepared to face somebody else later this year, Fury injected a heavy dose of uncertainty into what we all thought was a done deal. For fans who've waited years to see these two giants share a ring, this sudden pivot is enough to cause some serious heartburn. It really begs the question, is the Battle of Britain actually going to happen? Or is the rug being pulled out from under us once again?
Section 1. The must-win warm-ups.
So, before we even think about November, both men have to clear some mandatory hurdles this very weekend. But their paths right now couldn't possibly be more different. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast in how they're preparing. Tyson Fury is fighting Mariusz Wach on Friday in the Thai resort of Pattaya. It's effectively a charity contest, no live broadcast, flying completely under the radar. Meanwhile, the very next day, Anthony Joshua is in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, facing Albanian heavyweight Kristian Prenga in a very real, highly scrutinized professional return. The narrative just splits completely right here. You've got a non-broadcast exhibition on one side and a high-stakes competitive bout on the other. Section 2. A question of reliability. Now this massive difference in their weekend plans brings us directly to the business and political side of the boxing world. When Fury threatened to fight someone else, Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, he immediately fired back. From a promotional standpoint, the conversation quickly shifted from if the fight will happen to who is actually responsible for all this uncertainty. According to Hearn, if this November clash falls apart, you only need to look at history. First off, he points out that Joshua has literally never pulled out of a fight. Second, he argues that AJ has fought absolutely every possible contender put in front of him. And finally, Hearn reminds everyone that Fury actually previously pulled out of a signed fight with Joshua because of an arbitration ruling involving Deontay Wilder. So, Hearn is basically using this historical pattern of Fury's unpredictability and contrasting it directly against Joshua's steadfastness to reassure the public that his fighter is 100% locked in. Section 3. Fighting through grief. But while the promoters are busy arguing over contracts and reliability, there's an entirely different, deeply profound battle happening outside the ropes. There is an incredibly heavy personal context surrounding Joshua's return following a tragic car crash in Nigeria this past December, an event that completely shattered his world. Joshua recently opened up to the BBC about the incident, and his words are just incredibly raw. He said, "It's tough. Every time I think about it, it hurts. If I stop, you let it sink in, and I'm not ready for it to sink in yet." You can really feel the immense emotional weight he's carrying right now. He's using this training camp, this intense focus on the Prenga fight, just to keep his mind occupied. He is actively fighting through a level of grief that most of us can't even begin to imagine, just to make it to the ring on Saturday. To truly grasp where his head is at, we have to honor the memory of the two men who were lost in that crash near Lagos. Sinagami was far more than an employee. He was Joshua's full-time sport and exercise rehabilitation coach, and they'd worked together for over a decade. And Latif Latz Ayodele wasn't just a personal trainer, he was one of Joshua's closest friends. Losing two foundational pillars of his personal and professional life at the exact same time, it's just a devastating blow. And this is the harsh reality Joshua's carrying with him into that arena in Saudi Arabia. And as if that emotional burden wasn't heavy enough, there's also a massive professional mountain he's trying to climb here. This Saturday actually marks Joshua's very first competitive return since his knockout loss to IBF world champion Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium back in September 2024. So think about it. You have a fighter returning from a devastating physical and professional defeat while simultaneously navigating unimaginable personal grief. The pressure on his comeback against Prenga this weekend is absolutely astronomical. Section 4. The path to November. Let's move to and see how this builds back to our ultimate destination. We've seen Fury's quiet charity bout and Joshua's emotionally charged, high-pressure return. But both of these divergent paths are supposed to lead to the exact same place. Which brings us to the million-dollar question that has every single boxing fan on edge right now. What could actually stop this November fight from happening? Is it really just promoter talk, or is there a genuine threat to the timeline? So the crucial point is exactly what Eddie Hearn laid out. Despite all the noise in the interviews, Hearn stated there are really only two conditions that would completely derail this dream match. Number one, somebody gets beat this weekend. Number two, somebody picks up an injury. That's it. That is the razor-thin margin for error we're looking at. Both men must win, and both men absolutely must escape healthy. It completely solidifies the immense stakes for this Friday and Saturday. Literally, every punch thrown, every movement in the ring carries the weight of a November mega fight. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder as we head into the weekend. Will the biggest fight in British boxing history survive the next 48 hours? Or will the unpredictability of Tyson Fury and the tragic, emotional weight on Anthony Joshua strike again? Everything is on the line here. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I have a feeling we are all going to be watching very, very closely to see exactly what happens next.